Good afternoon again, everybody. Welcome. Once again, my name is Bosco Taddick, and I'll be your MC for this afternoon for the Bear Project book launch. This day has realistically been many years in the making, but it's come together in the last 12 months, which is reflected in today's date, a special date being 1 year that since Bear has passed away. The lady I'm about to introduce needs no introduction to most of you. I'm proud to call her a friend, and for the first time in an official capacity, author, Jody Crossley.
Thank you so much, Bosco, and thank you to everyone that's come here today to support me. It's been a pretty emotional ride, and each one of you are here for a specific reason. You've either reached out to me, you've supported me, you've touched me on this journey, and every one of you is special. So during today's proceedings, I'm going to be doing some special thank yous to those people. I've got amazing sponsors in the room that sponsored me. These guys didn't even know me, but believed in the initiative and believed in the book and myself. So to those sponsors, which I'll introduce later, thank you. Back to you, Bosco.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll just have a bit of a chat about the book today, Jody.
Yep.
And go through a few things. So first of all, what is the Bear Project? How did this come about? And tell us some of the highs and lows that you had in the book.
So the Bear Project, most of you would know, it's a book and it's a story about grief associated with pet loss. There's not enough awareness out there in the workplace, for the vet teams, and for those that are grieving of pet loss. And pet loss is very real. It's basically an epidemic. People don't talk about it because there's not that support out there. So once I lost Bear, and it was this very date last year, so 1 year today I lost Bear. I had to make that very gut-wrenching decision to say goodbye to my lifelong partner. She was 16 and a half years old, and she impacted my life in ways that I can't even begin to explain. Like, she was amazing with my sickness, but when I lost her, I actually looked for a book to try and read a person's personal journey, and there is no such book out there. So I had two very lovely ladies, Dina Franks and also Alison Taddick, say to me, write about it. Get your feelings out there. And I'm like, don't be silly, how's writing going to help me with my grief? So Dina actually said to me, write a book. Your journey with Bear is special, write a book. So I actually did. And when I was writing this book, I actually found that not only did it help me with my grief, but it was a journey about Bear and I. But then it was like, there's so many other people here that are suffering. We've got our vet teams that are under-resourced, which I'll talk about a little bit later. They're suffering with depression, mental health. There's so much pressure on them. And they also say goodbye to our pets. So they form bonds with not only me, but other pet parents and pets. So I wrote about them, and I dedicated a chapter in my book to those guys. My vet team have been instrumental in Bear's care and mine. And when I said goodbye to Bear, I couldn't have got through that day without my team. And then it was like, okay, well, hang on, there's workplace awareness. Our workplace, where we spend all our time, there's absolutely no awareness in the workplace for mental health and grief associated with pet loss. And you hear, oh, it's just a pet, you can get another one. Or you hear, oh, it's a dog, you can get over it. But you can't. Bear was with me for 16 and a half years, a third of my life. So now I'm trying to raise the bar at not only my workplace, but within this book, writing about workplace awareness and trying to get people supported in the workplace. Some of my highs and lows. Wow. You guys know all about that.
We certainly do.
Bosco and Al, these guys are amazing. These are my best friends, but they're more like family. They picked me up when I fell. Alison rang me every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day, to talk to me, to be there for me. And I couldn't have got through this without them. They shared my highs, they shared my lows, they shared the excitement, they shared that I don't think I can do this anymore, like how am I going to do this? And at times, I thought I'd have to sell a kidney to raise the funds for this book.
Thank God you didn't.
I don't know, Angel's taken me on that journey now. But yeah, look, I just kept plugging along, and the book is out due to my GoFundMe, people that GoFunded me, but my amazing sponsors. So my amazing sponsors are helping to get the message out there. So without them, I couldn't have done it, and I'm very grateful to them.
How good is it to have people in the world that believe in you and will support you and go with that journey with you?
Oh, it's amazing, because I'll be honest, there's many a times I didn't believe in myself, and there's many a times I didn't think that I could do this, and you guys kept telling me, yes you can, you've got this, I believe in you, and then my sponsors. But the pet industry on a whole is a farce. I'll call it out for what it is. I got some really rude emails from some very big companies when I asked for a sponsorship. So yeah, it had its highs and lows.
Yeah, you actually sent out quite a lot of requests for sponsorship, didn't you?
I counted, and I sent out 800 sponsorship proposals.
Now, sorry, Jody, I struggle to write an email and send it, let alone 800. So I don't know how you did that.
I sent anywhere from 20 to 40 emails a night. And I just kept sending them, and then I had a spreadsheet, and I would put on there who I've emailed, and then I would do follow-ups. So yeah, and then I sometimes backtracked and went back to those and sent a second follow-up.
Let me just make a note here. Don't get into Jody's way if she's so determined.
Yeah, look, determination has got me across the line, because it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing to raise sponsorships.
But you're determined, and you went through it, and you did get the sponsorship in the end. Great people.
Yep.
Some are in the room today with us,
Yep.
and we'll come to them a little bit later
Yep.
as well. But you mentioned one thing before about the stigma of losing a pet.
Mm-hmm.
You can always get another one. And having been through that and having people said that to me before, it's one of those things that infuriates me. I don't know what other word I can use.
Yep.
It really is frustrating when you hear that. And you can't. It's not just even a car. I get attached to cars, but
Yep.
like a pet. It's very frustrating when you hear that, and what you're doing in the sponsorship, or not sponsorship, but your pursuit with workplace change.
Yep.
I think that is literally the next thing that will come in America. In other places like America,
Yep.
they're so far advanced
They are.
in this.
Mm-hmm.
We are, unfortunately, we've got a great country, but we're a bit behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely. And look, I'm not saying that workplaces are ignorant. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that nobody in the workplaces has stood up and said this is a real issue. Mental health associated with pet loss is very, very real, and we need to be supported. Like we've got our workplaces supporting Indigenous, the gay community, disabilities, but yet no one has ever stood up, spoken up and said, hey, grief is very real when it comes to pet loss. And there's a lot of workplaces that actually, pride themselves on saying, we're inclusive, we're diversified, but you can't say you are if you're leaving out another group of people, and that is pet parents. So that's why I'm speaking up.
And it does come down to mental health.
It does.
Yeah. So it's just another bullet point in there
Yep.
that they really need to look at and address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Tell us about vet awareness and why you're actually pursuing that.
Okay, so during this course of time, I have 3 very amazing ladies here today. And most of you all know, because you've heard me talk about them, it's vet nurse Kristen, vet nurse Brookie, and my vet Michelle. These 3 ladies are absolutely amazing, not only to me, but to every pet parent they come across. They've got their own pets, so they understand the journey, but they have gone above and beyond every time for me. And that is simple messages outside of their work time. How's Angel? How's Bear? It's just, when I said goodbye to Bear, I could not have got it through without them. They were there on the day. They comforted me, their love and their support. And I thought, well, I'm in the vet practices at times, and I do see people, I'll call it out for what it is, get shitty with them because they're running behind in time with their schedule. But people don't understand that 2 pets could have been rushed in this morning for urgent vet care, and they guys have had to stop their appointments to look after these pets. But they never ever say once, oh, we can't see your pet because we're fitted in 2 emergencies. They still manage to fit everybody in. And if you're worried about waiting, reschedule another time. But these guys are under-resourced. They're under pressure. It's a very thankless job. And people are under this misconceived notion that they're on big bucks, and they're not. There's vet nurses out there that work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. These guys see grief. They have to, put our pets to sleep. Like, I saw how Bear affected their lives, and it was time to speak up for them as well, because pet parents are not seeing what they go through.
Yeah. I actually know of a vet that used to sleep on the floor of the back of the vet practice overnight to look after sick animals.
Yep.
It's the dedication involved in there,
Yep.
and they're all dedicated. They are really dedicated there,
Yep.
but they're under-resourced and stretched to the limit.
Absolutely. And if we don't look after these guys and start speaking up for them, we're going to see more and more of these specialised vets leaving the practice, turning their backs on a job that they once loved, and then we're going to have pressures with getting our pets seen by vets. We're going to have vet closures. Vets are reducing their hours now as it is. There's a vet practice in Orchard Hills that no longer sees new pets. They've closed their books for new pets. So we're going to see a big knock-on effect if we don't start rallying around these guys. I asked a couple of them, what would actually help make your job easier? And yeah, of course, everybody's money orientated. That would be great. But you know what some of them said to me? Just a thank you. Just appreciate what we do. Like, they're saving our pets' lives. So they're like the doctors and the nurses in the hospitals. They're doing the same thing for our pets. So for me, I hold immense gratitude for these guys. And if me writing my chapter and dedicating it to not only my team, but the other teams out there, if I can help change people's perceptions and just get people to be nicer to them, that's a step in the right direction.
That's great, Jody. Fantastic. Now, I believe there's some pet stories or pet parent stories in the book as well.
There is.
What can you tell us a bit about that?
So, whilst being on this journey, I didn't want this journey to just be about Bear and I, because every pet parent that has to make that decision of saying goodbye has a story. Every pet parent has a special bond, and all the stories are beautiful. I've been shared with so many stories. I've had so many strangers open up their hearts, their homes to me, to talk to me, but I decided to take 5 special pet parents on the journey as well, and I asked them if they would like to write a story in the book about their pet, their grief, and share that. So I had no trouble with that, but some of the stories in here, which you will read about, actually will really touch your heart. There's pets out there that have helped people with IVF, divorces, domestic violence, someone passing away. There are so many beautiful stories, and our pets really do touch our lives. They really, really need more, credit for what they do.
Well, I was about to say, pets, I think, are underestimated how much credit they're given in being in tune with people and their emotions and reacting to those.
Absolutely. Well, Bear knew my Crohn's disease. She knew when I needed my iron infusions. She'd alert me to when I needed my iron infusions. She knew when I was starting to feel sick. She knew all my cues.
Yeah, that's great. Tell me a story about Bear.
Oh God, where do I begin? There's so many special stories.
Sure, there's a funny story there.
Okay, well, when I first met Bear was 9 weeks old. I picked her up at Kellyville Pets, and I knew that I wanted a Jack Russell because I knew that they were full of life and they had extraordinary personalities. And I went out on the night before on my 30th birthday, and I had a bit of a blinder, let's just say. And Mum and Dad, God love them, decided to take me shopping for a puppy. And so we went to Kellyville Pets, and Dad was driving. I was hungover in the back. We get to Kellyville Pets, and I see these 3 little puppies, 2 females, 1 male. And Bear was at the back, very quiet. So I said to the lady, I want to hold that one at the back. Anyway, I didn't have a name picked out, and as soon as I held her, I said, Bear. And I said to Bear, meet Nen and Pop, meet Bear. And my mum says to me quite often, why did you call her Bear? And I said, because she is a little dog, but she was going to have an amazing personality. And you know what? She exceeded every expectation. And so when we get in the car, I buy her toys, I get everything for her. We get in the car, I'm sitting in the back seat with Bear, all happy, waggy tail, and all of a sudden I feel this rush of I'm going to be sick. So I say to my dad, quick, you're going to have to pull over.
Serves you right, Jody, for the night before.
I didn't expect to go puppy shopping the next morning. So yeah, I was quick, you have to pull over. And he's like, I'm on a main road, I can't pull over. And I'm like, I don't care, you're going to have to turn off a side street or something. I have to be sick. So the next thing you know, Bear gets passed over to Mum. I hop out, do my vomit, very gracefully, get back in the car. And then while I'm vomiting, Bear's vomiting all over Mum.
Oh.
Straight down the front of her. Wheat Bix. Wheat Bix. So get back in the car and Bear's itching to come across to me. And Mum goes, do you know you simultaneously vomited at the same time? And I knew from that moment on, her and I would be bonded and we would have the most amazing, incredible journey in life together.
Beautiful story, apart from the vomit, but beautiful story.
I thought you'd like that one.
Thank you. Now, ultimate goal from writing and launching the book. I mean, I know obviously we've covered a few bits and pieces of it, but what was the ultimate goal? I mean, obviously when you started, it was more of therapeutic for you to put things in writing, in words. But what's the goal now that it's all changed and it's grown?
Yep. So there are a few ultimate goals from this, and firstly it is to help other people with their grief and let them know that they're not alone. I guess give them a bit of a tool about, okay, everything that you're feeling is normal and it is a process and it is a journey and there's going to be ups and downs and you're like on a roller coaster. I mean, 12 months today I lost Bear. I said goodbye to her at 6:30 this night and I still cry some nights to sleep. I still have a good cry in the shower. I still cry when I pass a Jack Russell that looks like her on the street. So 12 months on, I'm still very much affected by her loss. But writing this book, I wanted to be able to help other grieving pet parents because I just thought if they could read a personal story, I wrote the book I looked for. So it would have helped me. But then, you know, it's raising the bar for the vets. Like just, even if people can just be kinder and patient with them and just appreciate what they do, because you guys are my heroes. I mean, you guys know who I'm talking to. You guys really are my heroes, what you've done for Bear and Angel and me. And there's, you know, there's amazing teams out there everywhere. But then I want workplace awareness to either produce a policy for pets or to open up existing policies to include pet parents. So give me the same rights as a parent. I've done exactly the same with Bear as everybody's done with parents. I've toilet trained her. I've integrated her with other people, with other pets. I've had to rush her to the vet in the middle of the night. I've had to do everything that a normal parent does with a child. The only thing is I don't get enough time with her. Like I don't, you know, they don't live as long as children.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately just one of the things we have to accept with it. But as you're saying with working, I've had it before, working in a place, we had a dog for 14 and a half years and he passed away and I had to go to work. I couldn't say, no one at work would understand that my dog's passed away. I had to literally make up a story that was a relative that was not well and they passed away and I was grieving it and so forth. And I really couldn't show my emotions.
Absolutely.
And that's frustrating because people just would not understand, all right? I couldn't take time off, I had to take annual leave with it, you know, just a sick leave. But it's just frustrating not being able to help that. Now, you've approached a few politicians and so forth. What's the reception been like with that?
I haven't really gone down that path apart from our local MP, Tanya Davies. And she used to be the mental health minister and she was very, very open and perceptive to this, to the point that I didn't even realise, but she had actually taken my plight to Parliament and presented what I was doing, and I was given a service recognition award from Parliament for like the awareness that I'm raising.
That's worth a clap, come on. Yes.
Yeah, that's even before the book was published. So, and that's what my publisher said. She said, all of this comes after your book's out, but you're doing everything before the books even are out there. So, look, workplaces, it's not monetary. It's not going to cost them a great deal to open up their policies. All I'm saying is, give me the same opportunities that a parent has. So if I need to take an hour off in the afternoon to go and take my pet to a vet, understand that and appreciate that and go, that's okay. You make the time up, no problem.
Without any judgment.
Without any judgment. And I'm very, very lucky that I do have some work colleagues in here, and Kate is my manager, and she's a prime example of what workplace understanding is, because each time I've said to her, I need an hour off to take Bear to the vet, but I'll stay back an hour or I'll make an hour up tomorrow, she's always gone, that's okay, let me know how she goes. And even when I lost Bear, she wasn't ringing me to say, when are you coming back to work? She was ringing me to go, I'm here, what can I do for you? I'm worried about you. She would reach out, she would send me messages, and it's that level of support that workplaces need to come on board with, because I did go back to work in my own time, but if I would have had that pressure, I think that would have made it a lot harder for me. But having having Kate as my manager and that support, it made a huge difference. And grief doesn't discriminate. So with pet loss, it doesn't care whether you're old or you're young or you're female or you're male, rich, famous, poor, homeless. It's going to hit you with the same intensity, the same emotions, the same feelings, and you're going to go all on your own different journey, because everybody's journey is unique and everybody processes their emotions in their time in their own way, but it does not discriminate.
I was about to say, there's really no other books out there, and you and I have both gone through and had a look at this and so forth about this. It is actually quite a unique book.
Yep.
And it's amazing that with such a topic like what we're talking about, that no one else has really written anything about it.
Yeah, actually that's what Emily, my publisher, has said. Like she, when we first had our first chat, and I sent her the first manuscript because it changed over time and I just kept adding and adding and adding. She was like, this is special. She said, there is no other book out there like it. She said, I have Googled overseas. She said, because I've written my personal journey, but I've also taken pet parents on the journey. I've taken the vets on the journey and the workplace awareness. She goes, she believes it's up for big things next year, because she said there's nothing out there like it, and she said no one's having these tough conversations. And it's been very hard the last 12 months navigating my own grief, working full time. I was studying. I also was looking after my mum for the last 5-6 months. But this just needed to happen. Somebody needed to do this.
And Bear has some special friends, and you've got a few little special friends as well, still at home and in pasture. Yeah,
so Bear has a big brother she's left behind, Puss. My vet team know about Puss. Puss is very, very unique. He's got a very uncanny attitude, and he's a boss man. So I think he's actually quite happy that Bear's not here anymore, because now he's the boss of the household, funnily enough. And then she left behind her best friend Angel, and Angel's grieved for the best part of 4 or 5 months. And I even believe, and I've said it to my vet team, that I think Angel's heart conditions got a lot worse since Bear's left, and I think that's her grief. And you even see her sometimes, she's still very sad in the bed, and Mum will comment. She's got her big brother Sonny, which is my horse, and she has her best friend Nala, the rabbit. Funnily enough, very uncanny, but Nala and Bear were the best of friends. And I used to always say to Bear, I'm not sure if you secretly want to eat her or if you love her.
Jack Russell and a rabbit.
Yep.
It just sounds like disaster.
Yep. No, they were the best of friends. Bear would groom her for lengths of time, and I'd often say to Bear, I don't know if you really love her or you want to eat her.
Okay. Pop quiz question.
Oh, okay.
You love these.
Yep.
Where would you like to see yourself and this whole journey in a couple of years' time, or 4 or 5 years' time?
I guess I'd like to see a change or a movement, particularly in the workplace. So that for me would be, I guess, the ultimate, and that's what I'm going to be trying to focus on now after this journey. I'm already having talks with my workplace and HR about, driving this change. And just for people to come up and go, wow, your book helped me because of X, Y, and Z. And whether it gave them inspiration, whether it helped them through their really tough time of grief. I just want this book to make a change and a difference out there.
And with legislation and so forth, do you really think that's a possibility that can actually get there, or will be some sort of, what sort of hurdles can you see?
Yep. I think, I'm just going to hold this up, anything is possible. Anybody can do anything if they're passionate, they're committed, and they're driven, and they believe. And I think if I can get enough people to rally around me and support me and the cause, I believe a change and a movement is inevitable. It's like it in anything. Like if we look at the gay community, they fought for many years to be treated as equal and fair. and it took them a long, long time, but they stayed true to who they were.
Very long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they grew. They grew in numbers, and it's power in numbers.
Yeah. And we're going back to mental health as well.
Yep.
I mean, there's still some stigma there with it.
Yep.
It is. I think it's the walls are coming down with that slowly.
Yep.
With it, but how long that was just literally ignored. I mean,
Yes.
just ignored.
Yep.
All right. And same as the gay community, they were just ignored.
Yep.
They were just shunned.
Absolutely.
So this might take a number of years.
Yep.
But as I said before in my little note that I put down, don't get in your way, because good luck to anyone who does.
Mum will tell you the same thing. She often says that I'm the most driven and determined person once I've got something in my mind. She says there's no stopping you. You see it through. Doesn't matter what it takes.
Yeah. Would you recommend anyone else to go and write a book from scratch?
Yeah, look, absolutely. Like everybody, I've been asked this question quite a lot, and that is, did I struggle writing the book? And it's like, I struggled with my emotions and I struggled with the grief, because obviously it's very, very raw at the time I was doing it. But once I started, I couldn't stop. And I honestly believe that putting it to paper did help me process my own grief. And I think it is therapeutic, because whether you choose to share it with the world like I have, or whether you just choose to reflect back on it, you can even do journals. It's endless what you can do, but it's a way of like releasing it. I felt that even though many a night I was typing and crying at the same time and couldn't see the screen, Kleenex owe me something, because I've kept Kleenex in business. I don't know how many boxes of tissues I've gone in 12 months. But yeah, like I think it's very, very therapeutic, because it's a way of releasing rather than holding it in.
Yeah. I dare say it's actually most probably easier writing the book than actually getting it published.
100%. Like I nearly fell off the chair. My publisher Emily couldn't be here today, so I'll do a bit of a speech for her later. But when she told me $9,667 to publish the book, I won't tell you what my comments were, and I won't tell you some of the words that I used, and I won't tell you what I said to Angel. And I just sat there and I remember crying, and I remember ringing both Alison and Boss going, I can't do this. I can't come up with, how am I going to get this money? And that you guys kept me grounded all the way, every time. Like I said, when I fell, you picked me up, and you believed in me. You shared this journey with me as much as I did.
Thank you, Jody. But I think everyone in this room really needs a bit of credit as well, because anyone in this room here is being part of the journey with Jody.
Absolutely. Everyone today is here for a reason, and whether it's you took the time to reach out to me and support me, my work colleagues that support me through my workplace, my sponsors, the GoFundMe, my vet team, my neighbours, everybody touched me for some reason, whether it be, are you okay? What can I do? Like, you're all here for a reason, every single one of you.
That's great. Tell me the title of the book, The Bear Project. Was that a working title? Was that the final title? How did that end up? How did it end up with that name?
There was a few names actually. It started off with The Language of Love. That was the first title that I came up with, and it was like, that's not bear.
I would have looked at it in maybe the French section if I was looking at that. Something.
I was like, no, bear needs something punchy. Like bear's big, like it's huge.
Has to be her name in the title.
Yeah, so it was like, So yeah, there was about 4 different choices, and then one day I was just sitting there and I was actually studying. So it was one night, I finished work and I was studying, and I'm like, what can I call this book? And all of a sudden it was like Bear Project. And I'm like, why did I call it that? And it's because it's bear. It's all about bear. It's come about because of bear. But it's a project. It's a work in progress. It's raising vet awareness. It's raising workplace awareness. So it's a project. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's great. Because, like you said, it is a project, and it's most probably a project that's going to go on for many, many more years.
I think so.
You know, what it's opened up.
Yep.
It really has opened up, I use the term nicely, a can of worms with this. Because it's things that people know that are there, but maybe just under the carpet and shun. And you've opened up just the awareness. All right, and that's the first step. If you get awareness going, then you get the whole momentum going.
And I think it's one of those things, like as a pet owner, there's 2 things that you can't avoid, and that's unexpected vet bills. And my vet team know I practically have frequent flyers there with my pets. I don't know what I do wrong with them, but they seem to get sick at the drop of a hat, and everything that could go wrong does go wrong. I've had many emergencies where I'm like, I've got to come down, Bear's split her eye opening, or Bear's been running around, she's done this, or she's hurt her leg. And yeah, so the amount of times I've had to make mercy dashes down there. But pet bills, like vet bills, and that dreadful day that you have to say goodbye, two things that you can't get away from. And I think you don't understand grief until you get it. And you can explain it to people, and they're like, oh yeah, so you feel really bad. Oh yeah, you don't want to get out of bed. But until they actually experience those feelings and those motions of, I don't want to have a shower. I don't want to brush my teeth. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to just put the covers over my head and pretend this is a nightmare. And I don't think it's something that you realise until you're in that moment. And all of a sudden, like me, I looked for a book from a personal journey thinking, I just want to read somebody's story. I just want to know if what I'm feeling is normal.
Yeah, you didn't just Google for 5 minutes. You looked for days and days.
I did. I looked every night.
Yeah.
I looked every night. And when I could stop crying and actually see the screen, I looked. I Googled grief. I Googled loss, pets. I Googled everything. And there's plenty of books out there from a counselling and a psychology point of view, but there's nothing that I could find from a person's personal journey.
Now, with COVID, obviously, this is going to become even a bit more of a problem now. With COVID, so many pets were adopted.
Yep.
All right, come to the families, and now COVID's gone. People are going, we can't look after the pet. I've got to go back to work and so forth. Mm-hmm. So this is actually going to manifest itself even right now, even in the next number of years, more and more, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you hug your fur babies tightly because you don't know from one day to another what's going to happen. And, I was lucky. I had 16 and a half amazing years with Bear, but, I've got other people I know that, their dog might have got cancer at 7 or 8 years old, and they said to me, I wasn't even beginning to think that I was going to face that journey at this point in time. So you just don't know from one day to another when you're going to have them.
Yeah. And it's not just for dogs. It's obviously
cats,
for
horses, ferrets.
I had a bird for 18 years.
Yeah.
Passed away 18 years.
But you still formed a bond.
Absolutely, yeah. But that was actually, at that point in time, half my life.
Yeah.
I grew up when I was a young kid. So it's not just that, but this will actually almost even spill over, even into personal relationships. It's even though it is about pets, it still is also about normal relationships, about your partners and so forth, because a lot of the stuff in there is very relevant to that as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's just been written from the heart.
Yeah. And that shows in the book.
Yeah.
So grab yourself a copy of the Bear Project. And Jody, been wonderful talking to you today. We're going to have a bit of a break, I think, now. And
before we wrap up, can I do some special thank yous?
Absolutely, fire away.
Okay, so first of all, Alison, my dear friend, can you do me one small favour? Could you go and get those flowers for me up the back? Oh, I'm going to stand up. These two guys, Alison and Bosco, are the most amazing people I have in my life, or one of. I've actually got many amazing people in my life. But this day, don't you go away anywhere. I know where you're going, come back. This day, what you're seeing in here is all Alison and Bosco. It's not me. I got the balloons, I got the colours, I got different things that she asked me to get for her vision. But Alison and Bosco have been here since 8:30 this morning and travelled from Sutherland to make this happen for me. And they've left their 2 fur babies at home. So this is for you. There's a card in there. Please don't lose the card. From the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much, Jody.
You guys have shared this journey from day one, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I love you dearly.
We love you.
Right, no, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. It really is a pleasure to be here today.
We feel so blessed to be part of this journey, and it's been a year today, and it's just sort of an emotional roller coaster, and we know what it's like.
It has, because you've shared it with me. You've shared the highs, the lows. I've had Alison crying on the phone many of a time. We couldn't talk, then Bosco gets on the phone because neither of us can talk. So you guys really have shared this from day one with me. And I couldn't have done any of it. I couldn't have done this. I couldn't have done this room. I couldn't have done this without you guys.
you.
So I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. The other special thank you I have is for Sherelle Trevathan. Now, she's not here today, but she's actually Alison's niece. Once you get a look at the book, Sherelle was beautiful enough to donate her time to design my logo. Now, anybody knows logos cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, and I don't know, did she work on it over? There's lots of hundreds of hours gone into this logo. She did that for me for free, just because she understood the journey of grief with her own pet a few years ago. So, very special thank you to her, because from the logo came the colours of the book. So she was the one that put the logo together with the colours, and then the book came together with the colours. So a massive thank you to her. Brooke is a vet nurse. Her hubby works at Officeworks, and him and his team designed these amazing banners for me. So their team did an absolutely tremendous job. I gave them the photos. I gave them a couple of designs, but none of my designs worked, of course, because I'm completely IT illiterate. But they came up with the most amazing banners. So I need to thank Brooke for putting me in contact with her hubby, and for the design team for doing all of that.
They look amazing, don't they?
They do.
Fantastic.
Yep. The other thank you is for Bosco's friend, Paul Bell. He's donated all the audio today for us. So everything we've got here, he's donated for us to use. So all these things are things that would cost me an arm and a leg, but I've had so many people donate things to just help me and believe in me. So please, on behalf of myself, please thank Paul immensely. Will do. Charlene is another person I'd love to thank. You can come on up, Charlene. Charlene also shared this journey with Alison and Bosco and myself. Was on the other end of the phone, listening to me cry and chatting to me and crying with me, and she helped reach out to 2GB, to Matt Fordham, to try and get me on the air. She helped gain me a sponsor in Ed, which you'll meet later. A massive thank you to you, because all of you people being there for me is what got me through, and that's what I say to everyone all the time with grief. Lean on people, because you're going to need them, and that's what's going to get you through. The other special thank you, I need to call up Vet Michelle. Yes, come on up. Vet Nurse Brookie and Vet Nurse Kristen. And I want to share some stories and introduce 3 of the most amazing ladies in my life.
Is that okay?
Yep, bring Evie up.
1 1/4.
These 3 ladies, there's not enough thank yous for what they have done. Vet Michelle and I have been on a ride together. She often gets those after hours calls going, "Hey, Bear's doing this, is this normal?" Or Kristen will get them as well. "Is this normal? Bear's acting like this." Brookie used to always cop Bear in the daytime. Whenever I had to race Bear in, it was like, "Brooke, I've got to bring her in." "Yes, come on, Jody, bring her in." And I swear, sometimes I think Bear just wanted to go in just to see these guys. And I used to say to Bear, "Don't bung on sickness, because I don't want to pay for this. If you want to go and see them, let me know and I'll take you." But this was Bear's second home with these guys, and the love and the compassion they showed, not only to her and I just couldn't have got through it without you guys. You are pivotal in my pet's treatment, and I always say, if you don't have a remarkable vet team, find one, because of Michelle and Kristen and Brooke and the other team members, I can't forget them either at the vet practice. I believe I had Bear as long as I did because of these guys, their knowledge, their care, their expertise, and it's pivotal to have a great vet team. I want to share a special story about Kristen here. 2 actually. Kristen was always like, if anything happens to Bear and I'm not here and I'm on a day off, I need you guys to ring me and let me know. And the day that I had said goodbye to Bear, I messaged Michelle very early, I think it was about 6:30, and set Michelle up for a really bad day because she knew what was coming at the end of the day. And Michelle loved Bear, and I can tell you wholeheartedly, Bear loved each one of these ladies as much as she loved me. That makes me feel amazing that she loved them. The practice rang Kristen and said, "Jody's going to say goodbye to Bear today." At lunchtime, Kristen messaged me and said, she's got a young son as well. How old was Finn?
He would have been about maybe a
Yeah, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, a year and
Yeah.
a half.
Kristen messaged me and said, I'm going to get my mum to look after Finn for me. I'll be there tonight. She's on a day off. And she said, I'll be there for you and Bear. I want to say my goodbyes. And she walked in. We gave each other the biggest hug. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. And I said to Kristen, I know you're on a day off, but can you be the one to say goodbye with Michelle to Bear? Because I wanted our three faces to be the last three faces that Bear saw in that room. And that meant a lot to me. And I also asked them to help me pick Bear's urn. And at the same time, Brookie was going through her own loss because her dog was really, really sick. So Brookie would have been there as well, but little did we know that Brookie was getting ready to say goodbye to her girl, Libby. So at the same time, we were all going through this, but these guys, the love and the support, and I saw how much it upset these guys to say goodbye to Bear, and that's why I want to write about the vet teams, and that's why I want to raise that awareness, because these guys, you guys are like my heroes. And I mean that when I say that. Like, there's not enough thank yous in the world for what you guys do. I know it's your job, but you do it with so much love and so much compassion, and the way that you supported me on that day, you made that day that little bit easier. And yeah, and then even last week, Kristen, she's got her cat going in for an ultrasound, Angel's going in for an ultrasound. I can't get away from work because I'm in a meeting on Thursday morning that I need to take minutes for. I was organising the vet to come and get the animal ambulance out to get her, and Kristen rings me on the Wednesday and goes, is Angel going in for an ultrasound tomorrow? And I'm like, yep, what's new? She goes, I'll pick Angel up in the morning. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she goes, no, I'll just swing by in the morning. I'm taking my cat in munch and I'm going to swing by and pick Angel up. Is that all right? And I'm like, yep. And you can see how relaxed Angel is. She's very, very nervous. And even though she gave Michelle a very dirty look yesterday when Michelle did something not so nice to her, they love them, and they are at ease. And even Puss, he's very hard to handle, but he has a special love for them. So please, can you join me in giving these guys a massive round of applause? I have books for you in the box, personally signed. I'll get them out for you when we go to Canapes. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Would you guys like to say anything? Even a funny story. We'll share one with Michelle.
We love Bear.
Michelle, let's share your story about how Bear got gabapentin on you.
You can tell Jody.
So Bear used to have a medication called gabapentin, and if anyone's ever smelt it, it smells horrific. I've gone to work with it in my hair, and it's like, oh my God, like all day I've had to smell this smell, and it smells like when dogs have to have their anal glands squeezed, so it's really potent. Anyway, I picked Bear up from Michelle this night, and Michelle goes, she said, I was walking around all day and I had this really wicked smell on me, and she's gone, I'm thinking, did I squeeze any anal glands today on any pet? And I'm saying to her, oh, it's the gabapentin, isn't it? And she goes, yep, I found out later it was on my shirt or something. And she's walking around with it all day, and we had the biggest laughter. We've shared some really funny moments together. But yeah, and Brooke's had moments with Bear, haven't you?
Yeah, normally in the mornings, because I'm the first one there, we'd go for our little walk, and we'd often do some selfies and send them to Jody. Because before the phones went on, obviously, then she got a little bit of a update of how her baby was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bear always she always looked at us and came to us in the cage, and obviously when Angel was there, Angel would always keep her back to us, but Bear would always be there ready to give us a kiss and a cuddle, yep, no matter how sick she was.
She always came in and gave them kisses, licks, waggy tails, and she'd walk into the vet practice like, hi everyone, I'm here, see you mum, and it's like, oh yeah, she would trot, she had a trot like a horse. It was really kind of special, but she spent a lot of time with these guys, and I knew Bear, if she didn't like you, which is very, very rare, there was a reason, but she loved these guys as much as she loved me. Yeah, I know you did. I saw how upset you were all when that day come, and But yeah, so thank you for everything that you do. Next is Emily Gower, my publisher. Wow, Emily and I have been on a ride together. When Emily first read the manuscript, Emily was actually, her dad had passed away, and she was just like, we're meant to work together on this book. And she brought this book to life. This book is Emily's work. Like, yes, I put the words in, but she put all the special touches, like the white cover for pets that have passed away, the pink and the blue to represent male and female pets and pet parents, you know, the soft touches on the photos, like the rounded corners, the structure, the structural changes. Oh, I think we should put this there and this, that, and let's use this font. And I had to trust in her 100%. And this is not the original photo that I had chosen. And Emily's like, I think we need another photo. And I was like, but I really like the one that I've got. And she goes, no, there's a special photo. So I had to send her some. And Mum said to me, trust the process, trust in Emily because she knows what she's doing. And I said to Mum, but I really don't like the photo. Well, I can tell you right now, Emily saw the vision and she picked the perfect picture. So, yeah, unfortunately, Emily couldn't be here today, but I believe she sent you a special message.
She certainly has.
Okay.
Would you like that now?
Yeah, we can read that
Okay,
now.
All right, okay.
I was not allowed to see this message, apparently. I was told that it had to be forwarded to someone to read out for me.
Okay, so, as from Emily Gower. Ever since I first connected with Jody at the start of 2022, I knew she was a truly special human being. Her heart is enormous and her empathy for people and animals is extraordinary. She's a living example of the courage to be strong when we feel weak and to open our hearts to heal when we're grieving. It was clear to me from day one that Jody not only had an amazing story to share, but that she is born for big things on this planet. And this feeling only amplified in time I've known her. The Bear Project is a truly special book that will move you, make you cry, and invite you to hug your loved ones, and of course, your animals, a little tighter. It reminds us of a bond between human and creature and shares the power that deep and unconditional love has to help us heal when we need it the most. I'm sure that Jody's story will enrich your life in many ways. It surely has done for me. Jody, it was a true privilege and honour to support you and publish the Bear Project this year. Our journey held many gifts for us both, and we shared in countless moments of heartfelt connection. You have touched my life and my heart in so many moments, and I'm blessed to call you a friend now. I'm enormously proud of you for achieving this goal and sharing your heart, your story, and your important message with the world. The world is ready for you, and it needs you, and I can't wait to watch you make your difference. I'm grateful that the universe brought us together and that we crossed paths in 2022. You are a gift in my life. To Bear, fly free, and I know you'll be watching over your mama every day as she finds her wings too and creates the life she truly deserves. Sending you both all my love. Congratulations, Jody. With love and inspiration, Emily Gower. It was beautifully written, wasn't it?
It is. Yep. Can't you tell I'm crying? Yeah, so the other thank you is for Matt. Matt's come from Blessed Photography today to do our photography and video. And when I connected with his wife, Tamar, she was just amazing. They have pets themselves, and they actually had a wedding on today, and they moved things around and made things happen so that Matt could be here to do this because they had the connection with the pets. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see the video and the photos. And just, yeah, my final thank you is to each and every one of you. You've all made time out of your day to come here today to support me. Some of you have travelled, some of you have taken time off work. So yeah, thank you so much.
And Jody, thank you. On behalf of everyone here, ladies and gentlemen, author Jody Crossley.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Okay, we're going to take a break for about 40 minutes or so. There's some canapes coming out recharge your drinks, and we'll be back a little bit later and continue on. Thank you.
Take some time to mingle.
Yes.